So Tectone is a gacha content creator, all right, who has been plunged into controversy recently, okay? He's a very big creator, very big, okay? 8,000 concurrent viewers, 10,000 concurrent viewers around that, okay? And what you need to know about Tectone is that basically he's the king of the gacha drama space, okay? There's an entire community on YouTube that is dedicated to talking about gacha drama. All right, gacha drama, all right, where people discuss balance changes or people discuss whatever the fuck, okay? I caught up with that kind of stuff in my free time when I was still playing Zenless on stream, all right? But for now, since I'm playing other games, I'm not really following up on the gacha drama, all right? But he is YouTube royalty in the sense that whatever he says goes, okay? And on the surface, he appears very amicable, okay? He appears very amicable, he appears very agreeable, all right? He appears somebody who is grounded, down to earth, likes complimenting people whose calls he is in, all right? I'll give him all of that, all right? However, recently, okay, he is plagued by controversy that he actively tries to not address, not talk about, trying to be a little bit Weasley about it, okay? So, what am I talking about? All right. He had an ex wife, all right? He had an ex wife who accused him of abusing her emotionally, all right? Emotionally abusing her, all right? So, so Tectone is faced with allegations of abuse. On its own, on its own, I am very doubtful, all right? Very doubtful of any allegation like that, all right? Obviously, I review these kinds of things in the past. Vast majority of the time, it's a complete nothing burger, okay? However, there are actual clips in public, all right, where Tectone is on stream with his wife, and he is constantly bragging about how great of a husband he is and how much of a burden she is on him. All right. So, actual on stream verbal abuse. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That is what's out there. All right. That is established as a fact, undeniable because it's on the internet forever. All right. That was years ago. Okay. Now, after they divorced, I think at some point Tectone has also made allegations against his wife of cheating. All right, of cheating. Okay. Now, before you say, "Oh, that's based," or "That's not based," or whatever, I just want to say cheating is bad, but abuse shouldn't be a response to cheating. It shouldn't. Hitting somebody, punching somebody, all right, doing all that stuff shouldn't be a response to hitting, all right. Now, if only that was the case, because apparently there are much more severe allegations against Tectone than that, all right. I'm talking about rape, okay. So there are allegations, okay, of rape against Tectone, all right. His ex-wife alleged he hit her. No, I don't think it's hitting. I think it's rape. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about sexual abuse. All right. Now, later on, sorry, voice crack. Okay. Later on, all right, later on, Tectone would leave his wife that he claims that he loves so very much. Okay, so very much for an e-girl. An e-girl. All right. An e-girl. And this was just a few months, okay? 4 months, 5 months afterwards, okay? It was less than a year before he started dating this e-girl, all right? And when he was dating this e-girl, everything seems to be cool, right? This e-girl was simping for him, all right? He was also simping for his e-girl. Now, this e-girl was also making attacks towards his ex-wife in public, all right? So, in order to appeal to him, in order to defend him, all right, she was making attacks towards Tectone's ex wife in public. all right, as these allegations were going on. Now, what if I told you guys that later on, this e-girl girlfriend left him after several months of dating, and then later on made her own allegations of sexual abuse towards Tectone? So now we don't have just one woman, but we have two women who are alleging sexual abuse towards the same person. And the second person has hated on the first person. So they don't really have an incentive to work together or whatever the fuck, right? So again, we have two people, all right? Now, Tectone, obviously, they could both be lying, okay? They could both be lying, all right? I'm not denying that, okay? They could both be lying. However, what if I also told you guys that when people are confronting Tectone about this issue on stream and on the internet, he does weaselly and slimy shit? What if I told you about that? So, what am I talking about? Why has this all come to the surface again? All right? Why has this come to the surface again? Well, my friends, all right? It's because Hassan attacked Tectone for something specific. So Tectone's father is apparently a famous sex pest, a famous military sex pest. He is so famous to the point where a congresswoman literally name dropped Tectone's dad in Congress in a congressional hearing on an assembly talking about military rape. Okay? In a council talking about military rape because his dad served. So, after Hassan made fun of Tectone for that, Tectone then reacted by having a crying stream where he tried to elicit sympathy from his audience by saying his dad abused him when he was a child by holding him down, pointing a gun to his head, and saying, "Give me a reason why I shouldn't shoot you." The implication for this, all right, considering how his dad is famous for being a sex pest, the implication is that his dad sexually abused him when he was a kid. That he is a survivor of child rape. Okay? So, that is what happened. And then because of that, we have, once again, resurfacing allegations. All right? Now, the problem, obviously, is when Tectone is weaponizing his own childhood trauma to attack Hassan, and weaponizing his own childhood trauma to defend himself against his own rape allegations. Why has this come up again? Is because Hassan said, like father, like son. All right? Implying that, because his father raped him, now he has gone on to rape the woman that he's been with. Because the cycle of sexual abuse continues. Now, before you say, okay, this is dubious, there are multiple reasons. There are multiple pieces of evidence to show that it's completely serious. All right? First, there are court case documents relating to against Tectone, all right, by the woman that he allegedly sexually abused. So they are being serious in that they are pursuing cases against him. All right? Number two, all right, his father is confirmed to be the same person who is famous for being a sex pest. All right? For being a rapist. Number 3, Tectone has also brought his father onto stream many, many times, including in front of Asmongold and OTK, in order to have an interview with his father, okay? He has also defended his father, saying that his father did not rape anybody, while also throwing his father under the bus when it comes to attacking Hassan. All right? So he's a slimy little weasel who throws his own father under the bus whenever it's convenient, and glorifies his own father whenever it's convenient. He flip-flops more than beach sandals. All right? So this is why he has been exposed for being a little slimy little snake. All right? Now, don't take it from me, because I'm telling you guys all of this. All right? Instead, I'm going to let the clips speak for themselves. Okay? Now, I'm going to bring up, now for the context of this segment, all right? I'm going to bring up a video by a Thorpe family A-logger named Shamu, all right? Who is now making Jay Aubrey-like documentary videos, I guess. Like highly researched stuff. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, please hit like on the video as it helps the channel and the algorithm. If you want to support more content like this, you can do so at patreon.com/shamu411. If you have Cash App, you can give me so much anxiety and distress.
And Freem was also hurting.
Language of Freem.
So his ex-wife is named Freem, okay?
It really looks like she does not want him hugging her.
Thank you for helping me today. I appreciate that. I have a hug back. The pound in the back feels very father-son-ish. Thank you.
Earlier, Tectone would explain to his stream that he had been hurting his wife for a very long time, with pretty poor explanations, all while Freem was packing her things to leave him.
I want to get this announcement out of the way beforehand. I've heard that I have been hurting someone. I've been hurting someone that I care a lot about. Sometimes, Chad, caring too much is not good. It's really not. Sometimes you can mean well, but still cause.
Now, what is especially slimy is the way that he goes about describing the way he does things to his chat. Sometimes you can care about somebody too much. Well, that's a weird way to put things. About hurting somebody you care about.
I guess,
right?
Overbearingness to the people who you care about. Because we've been together since we were so young, we formed a very bad codependency for one another. Sometimes when Freem isn't in the house, I can't function as a human being at all. I just can't do it because...
Also, the fact that he says that he can't function as a human being when she is not in the house implies that he has codependency issues where such things could be a red flag for domestic abuse.
It got to a point where I didn't really know the difference of who I was and who Freem was. And when Freem wasn't around me, I didn't feel like a complete human being. And during that process, I hurt my wife because she was overworked. And y'all know that. It's even a meme. It's even a meme. Me yelling Freem. Freem! Sprinting over here. And so I've been hurting Freem for a very long time. I stopped seeing her as a different person. I saw her as myself. And I asked her to do too much. I asked her to help.
I'm pretty sure Schlobbers is talking about Tectone talking about his topic on his stream. I'm sure Schlobbers is a massive Foodshops fan. All right.
Help me too much.
Maybe.
And Freem was also hurting me in a way where she wouldn't communicate with me because she was afraid due to her past relationships. But what I realized is a little bit too late, is that Freem is not me. And just because I'm okay with creating content 24/7 does not mean that my wife would be okay with that.
So he basically admits to stream that he has essentially confessed here to abusing his wife. Okay, that's it. All right, or hurting his wife in some way, in a way that's not okay. All right. At the very least, it's strongly implied. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what's the what does this look like on screen? Okay, what does this look like on screen? Okay, I'll show you guys. Right here.
Not? You're like the most impatient, moody I've ever met.
So this is the verbal abuse I'm talking about.
Patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that. Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're high.
Tectone gives the game away in this clip for being a wholly unlikable tool and a What's more shocking, though, is that he has the lack of self-awareness to do this with his then wife on a live stream.
You're high. I'm not saying you don't help, but you think it's 50-50? Explain.
I mean, okay.
I would unironically say I'm probably one of the best husbands on planet Earth.
You're a very good husband.
No. I wouldn't say very good. I would say one of the best.
I'm just saying, like, you carry in social aspects, I carry in the back-end tech stuff. And I feel like together, we make a good team.
But marriage, dude, I am the conflict resolution.
You can clearly see here, she is being reconciliatory. She is trying to say, yeah, us together, we make a good team. It's not just you or just me. All right, we make a good team as a married couple. But you can notice here that Tectone specifically is saying it's just me. It's all me. It's specifically just me. All right?
God.
Yeah, you are.
100%.
No, 100% you are.
I am the greatest shoulder to cry on. I am the greatest consoler. I'm understanding everything. The romantic shit I do is crazy. Like, why are you getting...
I can't imagine why anyone would leave this guy, okay? He's such a sweetheart, guys.
Freeman, you know beyond a shadow that I'm an incredible husband.
I never said that you weren't.
But you never said that I was.
Okay, you are an incredible husband.
How accommodating I've been is insane.
He's really channeling that inner narcissistic sassy gay man to tell.
Very, very weird, okay? Extremely weird, all right? Yeah, mouthing again. We saw this with Ian and Anissa, right? Again, this bad mouthing your partner on a stream or in public is a big, big no-no, okay? Big no-no, all right? Do not do this. All right. So, okay, let me get this.
Ruined all of our lives.
And the reason why Tectone went nuclear? Because his ex-wife Freem was about to make her alleged and abuse she went through from her husband Tectone public. Tectone has denied this for years, that this was even happening, by the way. But what people aren't aware of is that legal documentation between Pink and Freem clearly states, quote, the dispute between Freem and Tectone relates to a serious and false allegation against Tectone. During that call, Tectone and Pinkchu learned that Freem had a Google Doc and she was planning to release it to the public. We'll get into further detail later, but it's important to realize that the attacks Pink made prior is a direct response to Tectone finding out through Pink that Freem was going to go public with the alleged
So Pink is the e-girl goth girlfriend, okay?
abuse she went through with Tectone. I reached out to Tectone to get his side of the story in any context I could. At first he said he was happy to answer any questions until he realized how meticulously I had gone through everything. I asked him what the allegations were that Pink mentioned were going to ruin all of their lives, not letting him know I already had the court documents proving what they were. And he lied to me. He said, quote, no allegations were going to be made against me. This was between her and another woman. Provably a lie.
It was so horrific, it would have ruined all of our lives.
Freem would respond to all this with, I'm well aware of the many lies that continue to be said about me, my relationships, and my alleged actions. As social media isn't the appropriate forum to address legal matters, I'll just say that neither I nor my attorney has heard from anyone about actually resolving this matter. I won't be commenting on this further. Pink would even run cover for how Tectone treated his wife in the car clip from earlier, explaining, oh, you don't understand. Tectone realized that day that his wife of 10 years had been cheating on him.
Keep this in mind. This is the day he caught her.
So this was when Pink was actively defending Tectone, okay? But again, at some point later, Pink would also make her own allegations against Tectone, all right?
And Cruz huddling on the couch and realized they were cheating.
And not only that, Pink would also apologize to Freem and take back her smack talking with Freem, and they meet up. All right.
She was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
Which is pretty crazy, considering only 5 months later, Pink would announce that Tectone had been cheating on her.
Weird question time. Has anyone ever here ever been cheated on? How do you react to something like that, by the way?
Okay, look away. Look away.
Away. Like, is it weird? Like, I know some people are like, oh, you'll crash out or something when you learn about that, like you got cheated on. But is it weird that for me, like, I just like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with this piece of shit anymore.
Tectone, as you will see throughout, would lie to his audience in a pre-planned narrative spinning in an attempt to dissuade accusations of cheating against him.
When did you and Pink break up? Me and Pink broke up like mid-June. Do you all need proof of that or no? Are we gonna take my word for that? Do we need proof? I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like it's important. Just because I don't want anybody to doubt what I'm saying, and I know it's a pretty serious topic people really like talking about. Yeah, once again, I want to make it very clear. No ill will towards it whatsoever as of right now. I don't really care. I mean, it was made public against my will, but I don't care. But yeah, I have a message that I sent to Jimmy on June 28th where Pink and I broke up. But yeah, it was good. Nothing bad.
Tectone for real just pulled up DMs of his modding him and just had this pre-planned.
So this isn't even like consistent with what she just said, right? She claims that he has been cheating on her, and then he claims that nothing bad has happened, right? So more sweeping, very nice. Okay. Pink abuse allegations were made public. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so let's review this one. What are the specific allegations that Pink made against Tectone? All right.
It's important to remember that as this escalates throughout, Tectone threatens to leak things which he says will prove his innocence on several occasions, but he never does. He never posts anything. And things are about to get so much worse. On November 20th of 2024, Pink would post on Twitter, quote, "How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry, then shoves your head into his crotch and demands you s*** him off, and his excuse is, emotion just turns me on when you cry."
So 2 rape allegations. This guy is collecting rape allegations like the fucking Pokédex. All right? Also, what a weird thing, okay? Like, Jesus. Woman crying turns me on and then shove her head into your crotch. What? Okay.
Or when you're asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it. Quick pause, but in the text Pink put out months ago, she does ask him to delete any sexual videos that he has. You don't know if it's consensual, obviously, but felt it was worth pointing out. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down till you throw up. Guilt trips you into giving and says, "Do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going to keep telling you to do. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, just keeps you around as a machine and degrades you."
Now, me personally, I'm going to just keep it 100%. It will never not be the hottest thing ever when a thick female has a in their mouth. I will.
Why even admit this on stream? Why even try? Why, like, I just, like, he's such a moron. I just don't get it, okay? But anyway, we're building up, okay? We're building up. Anyway. So, now let's get to Tectone's father, all right? So, I think I'm talking about this segment. Okay.
Hassan would respond, basically calling Tectone a but what happens next elevates this story to an all-timer.
So that is Tectone's past. This is Tectone's present, okay? This is Tectone's present. All right.
Apparently, Tectone, as soon as he came after me and talked about his father's like military record or whatever, the internet found out that dad did the same shit that he did.
And victims like Heath Phillips. When he told his commander, his report was ignored. The Department of Defense says 19,000 incidents of assault occurred in 2010 alone. Nearly 90% went unreported.
The biggest photo you see is of Colonel Michael Robertson. He was convicted of 14 accounts of assault.
Turns out Apple doesn't fall.
Yeah. I'm beginning to think that calling him the LeBron James of rape is not really an exaggeration, okay? Was she crying because she was gagging at first, or was she emotional crying and then he pushed her down? The implication is that she was emotional crying and then he pushed her down. All right, that's the implication.
Far from the tree, folks.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on assault charges. Yeah, you be hanging with. The you be hanging with. And it was your mans. He was your boy. You grew up with him.
After being embroiled in abuse and allegations for months, Tectone's own father.
I'm confused why I missed gang, Dio. I explained this drama all the way from the very beginning. to now in a very beautiful, concise, artistically crafted manner from my mind with no script. All right, rewind. But that's not hate towards you. All right, I'm just proud of the way that I have recapped everything so far. Okay, I am a storyteller. All
Turned
right.
out to be possibly the most infamous sex pest in U.S. military history. His father was such a that they literally had televised C-SPAN Congress hearings in an attempt to stop future assaults by using him as the example.
I rise again today to draw attention to the epidemic in our military of assault. 19,000
Nah, Dio, rewind and watch it now, okay? Then you'll understand everything.
women and men each year are or assaulted in the military. This travesty is not being addressed, and I will continue to speak out on this floor until it does. Today, I would like to tell the story of one of the 8% that were prosecuted. The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having on his government computer, harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission on their breasts, thighs, and buttocks, and encouraged them to look at the computer. Some testified the harassment occurred daily. Despite repeated warnings, Colonel Robertson also emailed friends and female subordinates. What makes the defense's answer to all these actions? That all of these jokes and the touching were attempts to boost morale. Colonel Robertson, the majority of assailants are older and of higher rank than their victims. They abuse not only their authority, but also the trust of those they are responsible for protecting. Survivors can email me at stopmilitary@mail.house.gov if they would like to speak out.
This was all part of the creation of the Sexual Assault Training Oversight and Prevention Act, which was created.
Right, so again, his father is a famous rapist, okay? Apparently, Tectone Dad only got convicted for harassment, not more, according to Tectone, not rape. Well, okay, he got convicted on harassment, okay? But we have 14 women coming forward with sexual assault charges, okay? No matter the way that the legal system plays out in terms of presenting evidence, all right? I believe the woman, okay? I believe woman, all right? I don't know what else to say, okay? I believe her, all right? I believe all of them, all right? Because if you have 14 people coming forward, all right, and not even one single one of them say the other 13 are lying, all right? Crazy. She just said 5 convictions of SA explicit. Yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, so he did get convicted on 5 convictions of SA. Yeah, there you go. Is it groping? Yeah, that's called sexual assault. Yes. It's still rape. Yes.
Because of Tectone's father. You may be thinking,
that's weird, Loki.
Wow, can't get any more absurd than this, right? Well, you would be wrong, as Tectone regularly would have his father on live streams and podcasts. And what do you think that typically looked like?
Obviously, you're not aware of my first podcast with Techie.
Oh, the one where I showed you.
What do
you think about that?
Do it again.
Daddy issues?
They all have daddy issues. Well, she has a facial expression as if to say, hey, sailor, I like the little short dress. She looks like she works out.
One of the first things Tectone says to me is like, sup, dude? By the way, my
17-year-old
father thinks you're hot. And I was like, uh-oh.
First thing he did was he put me into some kind of headset and costume and put me in this AI room.
VR chat.
Am I moving? Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that's chill. And that's
yeah, but how? Oh, Lord, have mercy. And so he's got me in that headset, and I'm in there, and
I'm holding them on.
It's getting bad. And,
yeah.
But I don't know if it's as dressed up as a girl.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
Right, because that's the thing.
Yeah, or whether it's you dressed up as a girt.
Probably mostly Asmund.
Yes.
We're gonna give him a heart attack, I swear to God.
A convicted pervert father and son bonding, where you feel up anime waifus in VR that may or may not be men, is insane, even by my standards.
And you can, the sensors made it feel like I was being touched.
Damn.
Yeah, and It felt like this one character was unzipping my pants. Freckles, the hair
And I want you to bark for me.
Woof. Wait a minute, I got another dog. I got another. Want to hear my other dog? Oh, oh. That's my other dog. Woof, woof. Oh, oh. How we doing? She looks real submissive and looks like, in the words of Halsey, I can take a pounding.
What do you think?
6 years old, maybe?
Yeah.
So Tectone brings his convicted rapist father onto stream in order to ask him what anime girl he would like to seduce. Okay.
That's what she looks like.
Do you know what a lolly
And he talks about Lolly. Of course he does.
is?
Looks like a 3-year-old.
What a furry is?
No.
There are people who dress up in like dog suits. But you know what pegging is.
I can tell you a great pegging story.
One of them.
8 stepmoms? Hold up. What?
7 stepmoms in my head.
I'm a bad man, but it ain't, okay? It's like saying you're gonna make not have the money shot. It ain't there ain't a money shot. You know, people ask me what was about the military. What did you like? Well, I love the camaraderie.
Stop military.
Incredibly, Tectone brought his father into the
Yeah, so like, well, you know, this is one of Asmongold's biggest defenders too, alright? Not saying that there's a correlation, but, you know. Okay, well. Wow. Well, alright. Now, let's talk about today, alright? Let's talk about the modern today, okay? That was recent, but this is today. All right? This is yesterday and today. So you can see on my channel, all right? You can see on my channel that I have a Tectone video, okay? Right here. Okay, 7 days ago. About 1,000 views. Tiny video for a tiny creator, all right, like me, all right? Tectone caught lying and poisoning well on rape allegations. Okay? Tectone's face looking real guilty, and it's saying it's over. Okay? The person who made the video that I reacted to is named Shamu. Alright? Shamu, again, okay, made the video in the first place. Good for him. Alright. So, now, to my surprise, okay, to my surprise, okay, that's Cameron. That's not the same. Hold on, let me see. So thank you, Raylan, for bringing this up. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Okay. So Shamu, again, is the same person who made the video. All right. Very good video, by the way. Really well researched. Tectone has been banning people from posting any video tangentially related to mine from his recommended channel in his Discord lol. Does anyone know? Why can't I view the daily scram? Does anyone know? I'm assuming this is in Tectone's server. I literally looked and didn't see it there. Crunchy. It must have gotten deleted. But then it was a dumb post. Jay. I posted this for him to react to. Foodshops. Tectone caught lying and poisoning well on rape allegations. That's my video. Okay. So next one. Same vibe. Check out Tectone's new documentary by the legendary Shamu YouTube. All right. So this is the original video. All right. Just think about it, Crunchy. Jay, he's done it before. Dude, I'm so confused. Right. So again, okay, his viewers are confused that he's not addressing his own allegations, okay? His viewers are confused why he refuses to react to my video, all right? Listen, I'm not going to be gay here and say, yeah, you know what? A humongous creator needs to react to a smaller creator's videos. Absolutely, for sure, he's dodging. Well, have you tried not sweeping your allegations under the rug? Have you tried not sweeping your rape allegations under the rug? Huh? This is going up as a video. I'm calling you out, Tectone. Tectone! Alright, you finasteride chomping rapist. All right? You fucking bald, all right? Fucking white Steve Harvey. Listen. Okay? I'm calling you out. All right? You're being a little slimy little weasel. Okay? You're a little fucking wriggling little worm. You're a squiggly little fish. All right? You're an eel. I'm going to eat you as a part of my seafood cuisine, all right? Chinese prepared. Okay? Again, all right? Sweeping these allegations under the rug won't help you, okay? You have to address them, all right? Make a detailed response, post the counter evidence. Good luck, all right? Again, people are being punished in your server, okay? At least this J person is being punished in your server, it seems, for asking you to react to your own goddamn rape allegations, okay? Prove that you're not like your father. Prove that you ended the cycle of sexual abuse. All right? There you go. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. All right? That's all I'm going to say about the Tectone subject. All right? If I only talked about the tweet, nobody would know what's going on and it wouldn't make a 10-minute segment, okay? But at least now, I presented to you guys the entire context from beginning to end to now. All right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right? But he is at least aware of my presence, okay? He knows who I am. Okay? So, we'll see. He only talked to Chud about this, by the way, and he was all trying to be buddy-buddy with him. Yeah, very slimy. He tries to do that on purpose so that he can soften up the other person who's talking. Okay. He should be afraid. He should. This is something legal. He doesn't need to prove nothing to the internet, but it's shit that he banned the video. Nah. Then clarify. Then say it. Why do you have to be so slimy about it? Huh? Then say it. Yeah. I'm in the middle of a legal case. I can't speak on this right now. This is why I'm not going to address it. This is why I'm preventing my own users in my Discord server from mentioning it. Say it. Don't be a fucking coward. Be honest about your feelings. All I'm asking for people is to be honest. All right, that's all I'm asking for. Okay? If you raped, then you raped. You move on from the fact that you raped. All right?